Now, I would like to ask Mr. Okada, our new Chief Executive Officer from JETRO San Francisco, to give a welcome remarks.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I, Toshio Okada, Chief Executive Director of JETRO San Francisco branch, welcome all of you to our seminar on social networks and games. In today's world, the Internet is one of the indispensable systems for operating our society. It provides us with various options for the dissemination and collection of information, expression and exchange of an idea or opinion, and the promotion of interpersonal interactions such as through social networking services, SNS. In Japan, during the aftermath of the massive earthquake on March 11th, SNS were tremendous help in enabling people to exchange critical information, including the safety of loved ones and updates on the tsunami via cell phone, which shows just how much SNS are now a part of the social infrastructure in Japan. On the other hand, as far as the penetration of smartphones is concerned, Japan is behind the United States. These facts may suggest fruitful expansion of SNS activity with higher penetration of smartphones in the Japanese marketplace. In recent years, with the increasing focus on SNS, United States and Japanese businesses have been very active in expanding operations in the other markets via M&A as well as in the domestic markets. Considering the current states of the two markets, the Japanese market may garner more attention in the future from a dynamic point of view. Being early adopters of mobile monetization, Japan ranks one of the highest in the world in terms of monetization of virtual goods. With this mature state, foreign companies may increase their revenue by expanding to the mobile market in Japan. Additionally, piracy is a huge concern across the world. To address this issue, Japan has strict regulations against piracy, and the company's intellectual property is well protected. With that in mind, there is no better place than Japan to set up your Asian hub office. Today, we invite experienced business leaders at the forefront of the United States and Japanese SNS marketplaces to this seminar to give insightful presentations and participate in meaningful discussion. Throughout the seminar, please find a market opportunity for your business either in Japan or in the United States, and feel free to participate interactively in discussion for mutual understanding or learning. Thank you for your attention, and let's get started.
Thank you. So I'm going to give the floor to Michi, our moderator today, and I'm going to get off the stage now. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming out today. It's very nice to see a large crowd for Friday morning session. Let's start it now. My name is Michiru Laki. I am a co-founder and CEO of Two Clam Studio. On my left, we have Mr. Jim Yang, GM North America at Six Waves. And we have Mr. Stefan Delbeck. Sorry about that. I'm not French. He's a Director of Product Management at Seismic. And we have Mr. Jory Parsall. He's a Senior Product Manager at GRI International. And we have Mr. Hiroyuki Oguro, who is a VP of Business Development at Mixi. Just to give you today's format, each of us will give a brief introduction of what we do, and then we're going to dive into discussions. At the end of the discussion, we're going to have Q&A session. Okay, so I think I'm